The Meet the Platforms presentation was recorded live during the 2023 SPADA conference. Some portions of this presentation may have been removed due to copyright or commercial sensitivity.
Okay, guys, so how this session works is each platform is going to come up and talk for like 10 minutes, 10, 15, and then they're going to be ushered off and then the next one will come along. But it's so exciting. We're starting off strong. From Warner Brothers Discovery New Zealand, we've got Vicki and Juliet, and they're just going to be talking about their platform. So take it away, Vicki and Juliet.
Thank you. Can you hear us? Firstly, I just have to apologise. I've got tonsillitis, so I will try and project. But if you can't hear me, could you just let me know? That'd be great. Thank you.
Kia ora koutou. I'm Vicki Keogh, Senior Director of Commissioning. I run the commissioning team across ANZ. The way I like to describe our roles is that Juliet and her team set the strategy, and then me and my team go shopping for the best possible formats to deliver to that strategy.
She's good at shopping. As Vicki said, I'm Juliet. I lead the content strategy and investment across Australia and New Zealand. My team also looks after the planning, scheduling, media planning of content. And I also lead BVOD, which is 3Now in the New Zealand market. For those of you who don't know what the B means, because there's just so many of these acronyms these days, that stands for Broadcast VOD, so that we are clear. So we thought we would just kick off with just a little bit of an overview of how Warner Brothers Discovery shows up in the New Zealand market, because let's be clear, there are a lot of logos here and I sometimes forget some of them myself, which isn't ideal. A couple of years ago, many of these products didn't even exist in this market, and what did was owned by 4 different companies, so a lot of M&A activity has happened quite recently. Other than 2 of these channels, which are legacy WB pay channels, all of them are programmed by my team across Australia and New Zealand. So we are a locally focused team who deliver curated products for the local market. Just quickly going through them, and we'll dig a little bit more into 3Now in particular in a minute. Our focus in New Zealand very much is on 3Now, and we've seen a lot of growth in that platform lately. You're probably most familiar with the free-to-air portfolio that you can see here, and 3 in particular, which has obviously been through a few owners in its time. The pay TV layer here is a merger of the Discovery legacy channels and the Warner Brothers legacy channels, and those 2 companies merged last year. I forget all the mergers, and show up on the Sky platform in New Zealand. You'll also see FAST here, so that is free advertising supported TV. If you're not aware, you probably are, because you can't read a trade these days without it all being about FAST. And we soft launched FAST into the New Zealand market on 3Now a couple of months ago. We are very proudly the first WBD owned and operated platform globally to launch FAST, and we are already seeing that amongst people who are watching our live channels on 3Now, a third of that reach is coming from FAST channels, and people are watching over 4 hours per week, so they are hugely engaging. And just finally on this slide, just to point out that our local commissioning focus, which we'll talk some more about, of course, is very much in that 3Now space, along with 3, and we do commission a small amount for the Discovery channel, mainly in the Australian market. So you may or may not know, I'm hoping you do, that digital video viewing has this very year overtaken broadcast in New Zealand. It's this tipping point that we've been acknowledging to various degrees amongst us for a long time, and it has now happened. So the future of our business in this market is totally dependent on how quickly we can build sustainable scale audience in the digital space. So with this focus on building digital audiences on 3Now, all of our content decisions prioritise the streaming audience and their behaviour. There's no fixed formula to this, but we are very proactive in shaping the trends and getting ahead of that audience preference as much as we possibly can. And in that world, we're lucky because we can garner the insights from our global WBD business as well as lots of other sources around the world. So the editorial framework that we present our content in is very tightly defined. There might be lots of change and there's lots of agility in the kind of content and how it shows up, But how you will see that is tightly defined, and that's something that Vicki's going to speak to a lot more in a minute. And really, this is because in a world where there is more and more choice, it helps viewers to know the kind of content that they'll get from us, and really helps overcome what is the major viewer issue still these days, which is choice paralysis. What should I watch? Where am I going to find something that I like watching? And with this fragmentation that we're all really familiar with now, it is much, much harder, of course, to get scale audiences from just a single platform or just a single release window into your content. So our approach is to maximise our reach through using the full portfolio of all of our products. And I'll give you a little example of what that looks like here. So as you can see, a whole lot more acronyms and pieces, but really this shows the breadth and depth of our products that allows us to plan our windowing strategies, how that content is released, so it is seen by that biggest possible audience, both here in the New Zealand market and increasingly in international markets as well. For example, a show might start on 3Now and be commissioned primarily for 3Now and be shown as VOD. That would potentially be concurrently scheduled on 3 as a broadcast channel and therefore also live streamed on 3Now, where increasingly people are watching. And it may later form part of a fast channel, example of that in a second. So because we now have lots of audience segments, not one homogenous mass, we aren't cannibalising ourselves. I use the analogy of a phone, where once we used to have one phone, say, sitting on a table, and that was our audience. We now have lots and lots of different phones, lots of different segments of audience that we need to connect with at different times in different ways. And this strategy allows us to build incremental reach. Now, I just want to note the little dot around the circle at the top there. It's probably the number one question that people ask us. When is Max coming to this market? Just acknowledging that that is something that's being worked on, and the WBD SVOD that is Max will come to the Australia and New Zealand market at some point in the future. So quickly just touching a little bit more on where 3Now is at, and I think we should be honest, we've had some work to do. Not suggesting it's been the most amazing product experience out there, but it will be very soon. So over the last year, we have been building the proposition as a standalone destination. It's no longer that catch-up product to broadcast that it was not that long ago. In fact, all of our key content is now on 3Now before or at the latest at the same time as on a broadcast channel. That's if it's on a broadcast channel at all. There's an increasing amount that we have exclusive just to 3Now as well. So all of this effort that all of the teams across the business have been putting in means that 3Now is now the fastest growing streaming platform in the market. And as you can see with the stats on screen in front of you, we have some real reach and some real scale. Coming soon, we have some new fast channels, and we will be promoting them, which will also be exciting. And the first local content channel, thanks to our partners at SPP, West Family Sagas. So Outrageous Fortune and West Side, from the beginning, it takes a month to get through. So I challenge you to watch it and let me know how you go. And finally, any day now, in fact, yesterday, but that didn't happen. Next week, hopefully, this is what happens in the digital product world. We will have a new UX, so a new user experience for 3Now across every endpoint in the market. I'm incredibly excited. This is game-changing, and I just wanted to show you a little sneak peek of what it will look like with this animation that I really hope works. So the new 3Now has a fresh, clean look with all of the features that you would, of course, expect from a world-class product, plus some more. The focus is on easy-to-access content for both VOD viewing and live content. Some of the features we've built in here will enable us to curate content in easy ways that viewers can find what they want to watch. And my favourite feature is the ability to access all of the VOD content for a particular show straight from the on-screen live TV guide. This is a unique feature in market, and we think it will really help with that content discovery problem and also increase people's time spent viewing. So watch out for that, as I say, any day now. And just finally from me, the new look also makes sure that our marketing campaigns that you've hopefully seen in market and the product sit together nicely. We've seen really great success lately from these marketing campaigns bringing new viewers in. I particularly like this one. I think the line is very apt. But really just to acknowledge that this new UX is just a base. It's just the start. And from here, we will be creating a platform that really does deliver the future of free TV.
I'm very blessed to work with Juliet. She's incredibly smart, and she sets an incredible strategy for my team to work to. So with all of the changes and mergers that we've been through, some of you are probably confused about who we are. We were for a little bit as well. So we decided to do some work on who are we today? What's our editorial positioning? Who do we want to be moving forward? And what was important to us was drawing on that unique identity that 3 already had that people love so much, but also harnessing the power of the Warner Brothers Discovery universe that we have. And always with a mind to driving towards our streaming future. So we got in a room and we had a whole load of people come in and we had a consultant and we kind of chucked a load of woods around and we whiteboarded loads of stuff. And we decided to ask ourselves one really big question: who are we? And we came up with this. So we lean into differences, not away from them. We stand up for people. We tell the stories that other people are afraid of. We live in the now. We like words that make us feel alive. We're real and authentically diverse, not targeted or because someone tells us to be. We're proud of where we come from and we're excited about where we're going. And then we drilled down further and said, we're gutsy. So this word lands really well. It takes a while and it's really visceral, and some people don't like it at first, but I love it. And I think it's an incredibly helpful filter for us when we're considering props, shows, ideas. In every meeting with you guys, we're always thinking about, does this meet our content proposition? And shows can be gutsy in a number of ways. It could be the casting, it could be the original idea, it could be the storytelling or tone, or the way that it's shot. And we've got a few examples from our slate. These are key titles for us. They're not all of them, there's just a snapshot, but all of these deliver to that content strategy. Each of them is gutsy in their own way. Couples Therapy, for me, is the epitome of a gutsy format, made by our partners at Warner Brothers. It's a global format. Couples come in and they sit on the therapist's couch and they tell their stories. It's stripped-back production. It relies on the braveness and the raw, real authenticity of these couples in telling their stories. Far North, you've heard about this one already today. Created by David White, produced by South Pacific Pictures. It's just an incredible piece of work, and it's smashing it for us on 3 Now. It's driving in new audiences daily, even now when it's been up for a while. It shows the importance of local drama to our slate, and I'm very excited to say we've got plenty more local drama coming in 2024. Special shout out to Tina McLaren because she looks after our scripted slate and she's built an incredible body of work for us. Tracked. Tracked is an original New Zealand format that's travelling the world. It's created by Great Southern Television and produced by them also. It's in 17 Warner Brothers Discovery territories around the world, and it's also our first local production to stream on Max. We're incredibly proud of that one. Many of these shows have only been able to be made with the support of our funding partners, and several of these are actually premium fund productions, and you can really see that on the screen. But outside of that invaluable support, we will always look for opportunities to open the door globally. We know that it's tough out there to finance shows, and we want to help. So whether it's within the Warner Brothers Discovery Network like Tracked was, or whether it's working with other partners and platforms around the world, we're very open to doing both. We basically want to be champions and cheerleaders for New Zealand production on the world stage, and we have the opportunity to do that, so we're going to. We also want to be the best creative partners in the business. So for us, that means being agile. It means being decisive. It means being collaborative. But it also means encouraging you guys to take creative risks and push boundaries. We know that's what works for our audiences. We love that stuff, and we'll be pushing you to do it with us. So what are we looking for? Basically everything. We commission across all of these genres. Scripted, as you heard me say, is ever important to us, and every one of these genres has a role to play. Whatever we commission, though, is always going to be about accelerating digital growth and maintaining that linear performance. We are moving to being digital first, maybe even digital only. We want you to think about that, and we want to encourage you to bring us those shows. I'm just going to finish with a 3 Now promo that delivers to the campaign Juliet talked about. It's not everything, but it just shows a little snapshot of the kind of shows that are driving audiences for us on 3 Now. Thank you.
The big leagues. At 3 Now, we're all kinds of free.
You guys ready?
Buckle the hell up.
I'll let them forget who runs the street.
Feel free to rule them all, or go foot down to the floor. Keep your eye on the ball and take the chance to score! Lose yourself, lose the plot, lose your lunch, and take a shot to find pay dirt, find glory, find your nerve, and find freedom. Free premium dramas.
I think it's best you go back home.
I tend to piss people off.
How much are we bringing in?
500 kilos.
So big, so high. Entertainment.
Welcome to the traitors.
I wanted to play this game.
And sport documentaries.
It'll make your career or break it.
Oh, did I tell you it's all free? Can I get a hoorah? Hoorah! 3 now. All kinds of free.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vicki and Juliet. And I'll just welcome to the stage from TVNZ, Nevak Rogers.
Kia ora tātou. Big congratulations to Vix and Jules and the team. I know we've been talking about this for a while, but when those boats rise, we all rise. So ka nui te mihi kia kōrua. Tēnā koutou i te whare. Tēnei au he uri o pane i ronga Whakaata me ngā mautiritonga e tuake nei ki te whakahokia, ngā mihi kua whāriki hia, i ngā iwi i ngā mana hui hui mai tātou. I actually had a presentation, but after Showcase, which we had our upfronts yesterday, and listening to a lot of the kōrero in the room today, I just sat over there and wrote some words. So let's see, because my laptop died, let's see how that goes. Reflecting over the past year since our last SPADA conference, it's been a bloody challenging 12 months. I know that our platforms and our production partners have been doing it really, really tough, and I just want to acknowledge the warrior spirit of the people in this room. We have been seeing you, we see you, grinding every single day, day in and day out, creating on-screen magic, building capacity and finding new ways to make and fund content, lobbying to tell our stories of Aotearoa with Love Local, and committed to building a sustainable sector. The health of our industry to ensure that we build something that is robust and agile enough to hand on to our unborn mokopuna, that's what keeps me up at night. The upside of that is that I know that the answers lie in the hearts and minds of the people in this room. This time last year, Kate Carver and I were on stage alongside Megan, who I saw before from RNZ, and Stephen Smith, in preparation for what was planned to be the merger of the century. We'd been laser focused on this, building that platform up for the best part of last year. When it was subsequently scrapped, I've got to admit, we did let out a little sigh of relief. The idea of having to become a funding agency like New Zealand Oni o Te Māngai Pāho actually freaked us out. But we mourned the loss of having a set amount of pūtea that would come year in and year out to really supersize a local slate for TVNZ audiences. Since then, New Zealand Oni ushered in their new strategies and initiatives, which together we saw us wind up Hey Hey. Love Local, that initiative that we're fully behind, we haven't managed to increase the baseline funding for New Zealand On Air for many, many years. And with increasing production costs and a plethora of new platforms, less licence fees, increased need to market to audiences where they are, and training, capacity building means that there's effectively a much smaller slice of the contestable pie available to producers on TVNZ platforms. The SPIG was reviewed and became the rebate that it is now. The actors and writers strikes in the US have impacted international scripted pipelines and had a knock-on effect here in Aotearoa. The economic downturn has seen TV ad revenue down 20% year on year, and that's meant for the likes of us and Warners, who we've been collaborating with recently, if we haven't got a subscription-based model or a financial support from the government. And it was interesting, actually, at MIP, a really senior producer who I won't name because she'd be really shy, sort of said to me, TVNZ is 50% funded by the government, and then, you rely on advertising dollars to do the rest. That's just not the case. We have contestable funding that comes through from the likes of New Zealand On Air and Te Māngai Pāho for anything that we make in-house. We could count that on one hand, things like Te Karere, Q&A, country calendar. But the rest of that content is hugely reliant on advertising revenue. On top of that, we have had one of the toughest years, again, at MIP, listening to a lot of the challenges, whether it was, our Australian counterparts, the UK or the US. Everybody is in the same boat. People have been in the sector for more than 30 years talking about that this is the toughest that it has ever been. But the thing is that there are a whole lot of green shoots. And so while, we are in the middle of a massive downturn in terms of our economic climate and we're having to cut costs and live within our means, that's meant that we've had to make some really tough decisions at TVNZ over the last 6 to 12 months. All waiting for a new government, waiting for a new board, one of which, tēnā koe te koka, our Deputy Chair, Ripika Evans, is here today, and waiting for a new government and minister. We have been investing a hell of a lot of money and time and energy into our Te Pairangi program. So Kate, that's what she's gone to lead at TVNZ. And that is truly going to transform Te Reo Tātaki into a digital-first business. So that was the last 365 days. But despite all of the challenges, I would not want to be anywhere else. The incredible passion, the commitment, the mahi that happens as a result of the people in this room, as well as the thousands who are out shooting stuff at the Maramena and production offices around the motu, that commitment is what drives us. And I'm just going to show a clip of some of the content that you guys have been making over the last 2 years. Kia ora.
Turi, it's about to start.
So this is the start of your journey, bro?
Yeah, thank you, bro. Thank you.
Let's get to work.
On your marks.
There you go.
You know me so well, Leho.
Aotearoa, New Zealand.
This is a way to tell my story.
Wait, is that the filter or is that my face?
Kia ora!
Te Reo Tātaki TVNZ is proud to be the largest commissioner of local content in Aotearoa, delivering New Zealand's most watched content day in and day out.
You don't really need to worry about what you look like or what you're wearing, what you're driving. Some people drive a horse.
Our purpose is to inspire the conversations of Aotearoa, kia whakaihi ngā kōrero o Aotearoa. We strive to create content which stands out, content that gets people talking.
We're actually doing this.
Gee whiz, these humans are smarter than they look.
Underpinning our local slate are our values, Aotearoatanga, mana reo and kia maia. Our values are our po, the 3 pillars that support and guide us. Aotearoatanga represents content which creates a strong and distinctive New Zealand identity and a flourishing Māori language and culture.
Kia ora, Jeff.
Whai ake nei.
Ua ko patapata hoki.
We are proud of where we've come from and who we are.
Choose your team, Aotearoa.
We take our role as kaitiaki, guardians of our national identity, seriously.
I've never seen a Kiwi.
Fingers crossed.
I'm trying to make a difference.
We embrace treaty partnership as part of what makes us unique.
Getting goosebumps thinking about it.
And we're passionate about unleashing the potential of our nation.
It's a lot to take in. Don't you worry, I got you.
Speaking of passion, we're so proud to be delivering a comprehensive suite of sporting content to Kiwi fans up and down the country. TVNZ is the new home of free sport in Aotearoa.
And on the bank, that is a beauty.
Mana reo represents content which contributes to an inclusive, enriched and connected society that acknowledges underserved groups and celebrates the diversity of our communities.
Good luck with the UTI.
Love you.
We amplify different voices and perspectives. We celebrate the rich diversity of our people and communities.
Talofa lava and welcome.
We share stories that bring people together, and we encourage and support understanding, respect, and a sense of belonging for all New Zealanders.
Just because I've got dementia doesn't mean I can't help in a cafe, because I can.
It's really important to find love, because that's what makes you human.
Kia maia represents content which influences the perception of TVNZ. It appeals to younger audiences and is bold in what it says and does.
It's really cool to be in this space, to be able to share what my journey has been.
We may not have thought this through.
We're prepared to take risks and make a stand for what's important. We ask the hard questions and hold ourselves and others to account.
Our people in power can recognise and identify that this is a problem.
We do what it takes to earn the trust of New Zealanders every single day.
Hey! Don't be a dick! Bloody hell!
We are TVNZ, Te Reo Tātaki. Our kaupapa, our purpose, to inspire the conversations of Aotearoa is why we exist.
Did you see anything unusual?
I think we've cracked it.
Our values, Aotearoatanga, mana reo and kia maia, are what we stand for. We are committed to delivering the best in local content to our regions, our communities, our people.
When you speak, people listen. All the people.
Together, let's enrich the lives of all New Zealanders.
Big mahi to our funding agency partners without whom we wouldn't be able to do any of the work that we do. Our job at Te Reo Tātaki TVNZ is to serve Kiwi audiences, and local content is pivotal to that kaupapa. Sports and events is something that we're committed to delivering too. In February, we broke the TVNZ record for streaming Te Matatini live alongside attracting 750,000 viewers to our festival on TVNZ2. We launched Sport on TVNZ Plus just in July, which has seen cricket and so many other sports codes out from behind a paywall for the first time in many decades. On linear, that's meant that more than half the New Zealand population has tuned in to watch sport, and we've seen 3 million streams on TVNZ Plus to date. One of the things with our Te Pairangi work stream, the transformation program that we're undertaking, is it's a frustration that I know a number of everybody actually across the sector have had in terms of finding a way to measure not just our linear audiences, but how do we compare the apples with the apples in terms of what we do in the digital space. And so that's something that we'll be focusing a lot of our pūtea on in the coming months and years. One of the questions before, somebody talked about scripted content not doing that well, and I just pulled up a few numbers for TVNZ Plus, because one of the things is 70% of people who watch TVNZ Plus watch on a connected TV. If that was in Nielsen's rating, they add kind of a multiplier. So we kind of think that that's worth about 1.6, 1.7, as opposed to if I was watching on a phone, that would kind of be a 1-to-1 ratio, right? And so when we look at that, that's great. It's just we haven't found a way to monetise those eyeballs yet. And without that pūtea, it makes it really difficult. So that's something that we're really focused on doing. But just I pulled a few numbers. So something like Shortland Street, for example, we do more than 250,000 reach on TVNZ Plus. Shows like The Gone, Te Matatini, Celebrity Treasure Island, more than 150,000 tune in via TVNZ Plus. Country Cows, 170, Under the Vines, Grand Designs, 100k. So we can see that people are tuning up. It's just that audiences are so fragmented. We just haven't found a way to capture all of that in one big measure. Viewers turn to TVNZ for a sense of connection and belonging, alongside all of the other platforms here in the local space. We're focused on hard-to-reach audiences, but our commitment to mass viewership remains steadfast. Thanks to the people in this room, we have the ability to bring this huge depth and breadth of content to screen. We're really grateful for these long-standing relationships that help us deliver the diversity of our local slate going forward too. As I mentioned before, we had our showcase up fronts yesterday. And in 2024, I just wanted to kind of call out a few of the shows that we've got coming. So a new season of Documentary New Zealand, a raft of obstacles, including Forgo Flatting. That's from the Down for Love team. The Hospital is going to lift the curtain on what it's like to be a junior doctor at Middlemore. Relentless, which is based at City Kickboxing, with Israel Adesanya and the boys. And a new series from the Tipene husband and wife duo Casketeers, Life and Death Around the World. We've also got a new series from our team at Warner's, our production partners, My Family Mystery. We've got a massive slate this year of property, in the coming year, of property genre local shows. So New Zealand's Best Homes with Phil Spencer. We're doing a local version of Love It or List It. Grand Designs is going to return a new series, My Clean Dream Home. That is so hard to say really fast. Country House Hunters NZ, and we're doing another season of Moving Houses. In the scripted space, we've got renewed seasons. Kelly, you talked about the need to renew content. So we are doing another season of Broken Wood Mysteries, The Gone, Shortland Street, of course, My Life is Murder, Kid Sister, and Under the Vines. The makers of Wellington Paranormal are producing a new show, Warren's Vortex. We've got New Zealand-funded premium series called Testify coming out, which is looking fantastic. And we've also got in the new year The Girl, the Boy, and Everything in Between. It's a TVNZ Plus-led commission. We've renewed Celebrity Treasure Island, 6th season, and The Great Kiwi Bake Off is back next year alongside Colin and Manu, who are returning for another season of MKRNZ. That show's been delivering delicious ratings over the past few weeks. So far, it's TVNZ2's most watched show of 2023. That's in All People 5+, as well as our key commercial demos. Alongside all of that bedrock of New Zealand's news and current affairs content. So we've got, the likes of Tangata Pacifica, we saw Ngāre before, Te Karere Marae, Mata, Ohinga, Rei, Q&A, alongside all of the content that we make in-house with news and current affairs. We're doing more Country Cow, more Obs Docs, Dog Squad, Renters and Motorway Patrol. Going forward, though, not a lot has changed. I think I've spoken to quite a few people in this room when we rolled out our content strategy in May of this year. So that 18 to 34 demo is still the target for us. We want to grow that pipeline of audiences throughout Aotearoa. And the other thing that I would say is that we did a lot of work when we were at MIP, just supporting producers as well. We need to find ways to diversify the pūtea, the money that is available. So we're able to get a couple of gap funding and fully funded projects up while we were there. As you saw on the reel, we're still assessing props against those values, and we're constantly balancing, the tentpole content, the stuff that is really loss leading for TVNZ. The likes of Shortland Street, the likes of Celebrity Treasure Island and MKR, they're loss leading, but we know that that tentpole programming is what holds up our platforms. Alongside that, we've got our sustainable content, and that's where we need, the New Zealand On Airs and the TMPs and the Spur to make those sustainable. And then we've got sort of our brave bets, our brave opportunities, which shows that we are also loss-leading, but they redefine our platform. So things like Muckle the World and Sneakaholics are good examples of those, particularly for that 18 to 34 demo. Stuff that's not hyper-localised. A lot of the content that we buy for them, the likes of Love Island, which does really well, but we want to make content that is here of Aotearoa so that they're seeing themselves reflected back. So I guess I wanted to finish today with a mihi, again, to the key stakeholders in this room. But I also wanted to lay down a whittle. I think, it has been a really challenging time, but it's just called winter, guys. This stuff is cyclical, and if we all got together, I know that we would find a way through it. It's time for us to take control of our future in this sector, in this country. The fragmentation has not served us, neither has the lack of an overarching strategy. Collaboration, a united vision, and a voice is desperately needed right now. To truly unlock the potential of our industry, but also the potential of Aotearoa New Zealand. We're shaping hearts and minds every single day with the content that you're creating, and it's a privilege and a responsibility. Nā reira, ka nui te mihi, kia koutou katoa.
Good to go. Thank you, Nevak. Awesome, and we'll just welcome to the stage our next speaker. From Whakaata Māori, Maramena Roderick.
Tēnā koutou. I must have read the wrong email because I didn't actually do a promo. I guess I am the promo. So, tēnā koutou, ka nui te mihi, ka koutou huhi mai nei I tēnei wā e te tuatahi. Before I put the boot in, I'm just joking. I would like to thank those who are in this room and those within the sector who have supported Whakaata Māori for 19 years. We would not have made it without you. And I mean Māori and non-Māori. There are so many, the Annie Collins who understands and has given so much to us to train up our young Māori editors so that we can tell our own stories, nothing for us, without us. To the film and the technicals who turn up quietly with their vans on our productions because they know we can't afford their expertise under the inequitable funding models. So, ngā mihi rawa atu, you are absolutely valued by us. I'm bowing. I've just come back from Asia. where, by the way, I met with a lot of Indigenous broadcasters, filmmakers, who are absolutely adamant they would not take their content globally in English. They are taking it in their own language. Thank God for K-drama, who has taken Indigenous storytelling to millions, subtitled, around the world. Millions are now tuning into Indigenous content. And I'm very, very grateful that I did not meet that distributor who said our language, he didn't want that, or she didn't want our reo and our culture in that content. How dare you? You know, take it. You can keep it. We don't need your muskets and blankets. Tēnā koe. Okay. This is about achieving, I'm going right off the reservation here. This is about achieving outcomes together. Hopefully I'm going to get it right. Aha. And it might be worth reminding why Whakaata Māori is even here. And it is to promote, to revitalise, to normalise our language and culture. That's it. It's in our legislation. No other public broadcaster or media entity is charged with such an enormous remit, a very specific remit to capture language learning audiences, those who are interested in learning our reo and our culture. And when I say our reo and our culture, I don't mean yours and mine. I mean ours, as part of our nationhood, of who we all are. It belongs to all our mokopuna, all our children of the future. So that is what we are here to do. So when I hear comments, oh, your funding is dependent on ratings. Ratings, which are television, by the way, and we all know is dying. Commercial ratings are being put ahead of the survival of my culture, our culture, and language. I'm going to go, oh, hang on, whānau. Let's back it up and let's have a talk about the facts, shall we? So, I thought I only had 10 minutes, Nevak. So, here are the facts. More eyes are on Whakaata Māori today than ever before. We are never going to have the numbers of TVNZ or of our networks. I would like to mihi to Nevak and TVNZ. In the last probably 2 years, we've been collaborating far more than ever before. Discovery, we need to do a bit of work. But it's not about the numbers for us, it's about the growth. And where is the growth really happening? It's digital, as we have heard, right? It's the linear is dying, it's digital, it's going up. We're going gangbusters on social media. In the last year, 146%, TikTok, and so on and so on. It is just taking off on us, even more than what we could have projected. Now, don't see social media as a little platform for promos. There is more and more bespoke, unique content going up on social media platforms than ever before. That is where, we like it or not, our social audiences and our audiences are today. I would argue that Whakaata Māori is the home of the most locally made content, probably because we can't afford to buy another American format. But we put it up there and we're really proud of it. So I'm glad to hear that we're going to love local, that we're all going to be on this waka together, because we've been on it for 19 years and it's been a hard 19 years. So here's some of the other things that have been happening for us. Māori Plus, 158%. We've done the app. That's taken off on us. Big screen, 72%. So you can see the growth. The growth is all happening within that digital. Māori Active, we invested in rangatahi sports, high school sports, across Aotearoa. It has led to teams, our babies, our students, their coaches, all speaking te reo on the fields, on the courts. It's amazing to hear. We celebrate, we cheer them on. 2 million audience in 18 months. That's unique views. That's single unique views. The audience reach, I think, is about 12.2 million. So how did we do it? We've had to do some serious soul searching ourselves and look at what we are doing in terms of our own tino ranga tiratanga. Now, tino ranga tiratanga is self-determination, but it's really simple when you look at it. I think James Cameron alluded to it this morning. It's having your own self-determination, your own decision-making, to see that window and go for it. Have that vision to go forward. Just like our ancestors did years ago, right? They hopped in that waka, they navigated, they were strategic, and they probably threw a few overboard who weren't pulling their weight. Not that I'm going to throw any of you overboard, darlings. Okay, so our plan for success, 3 to 5 years, is a real clear strategic direction. We have a board who is very set on what we need to do and robust measurement. So we are checking nearly every day, but checking where we're going, because there's no point having a dream and a vision if you're not heading in the right direction or you're ending up down the South Pole. Te Huapai, by the way, is that part of the horizon. Te Huapai o te rangi. It's a part of the horizon where the sky meets the land or the sea, just that nirvana, that beautiful point. So that's why we have called our plan for success Te Huapai. And it has specific outcomes that we are charged with meeting, and we expect anyone who engages with us to meet as well. They are non-negotiable, our outcomes, and here's what they are. All right, we have 11 outcomes. I'm going to leave our fabulous, passionate team to explain that when they are up tomorrow, what our outcomes are. But generally, they are 1, increase connection to te ao Māori; 2, create opportunities for language; 3, grow the Māori media sector. And that's really important to us because we have a critical shortage within the Māori media sector. I go hard back, though, to the amount of help that we have been given. But we will ask any productions that come to us, what are you doing for our Māori sector? What training are you putting in place? Have you got anyone coming through? You got creatives, the key creatives? And by the way, how long are your key creatives with you? Are they popping for a week or just a chicken nap? Or are they really there, part of your production? That's what we'll be asking. We have 4 key audiences: whānau speaking te reo, and that includes our tamariki; rangatahi active language learners. Now, that's the key word there is active, and our fluent speakers. And I say active because if people are not interested in our reo, kei te pai, you're not our audience. We're not going to keep trying to throw the net wide and please everyone. We have to be far more strategic, far more focused. So if you're not interested in learning te reo, ka pai, but you won't be part of our audience and we won't be commissioning content for you. I'm just being honest. And the content types: news and current affairs, whānau entertainment, live, sports, language learning, and kapahaka. So those are the key outcomes and targets that we have for anyone who wants to engage with us. We shared it when we were overseas. We were at Taiwan with the Taiwan broadcasters, with the Whitbin, who are the world broadcasters, and the Taiwan filmmakers. It was uncanny how closely our outcomes lined up. By the way, they are fascinated in Indigenous Pacifica, reo, Māori content. So they are really looking forward to coming down, and they are coming down for, ta-da, next year we are 20 years old. In March 2024, our internationals are all coming in. We want you to meet them. They are really interested in our unique content. It's our role, as Nevak said, as broadcasters, to connect, and find the content that we can make together. Because at the end of the day, we are here not only for our language and our culture, but also to remember those who came before us, who bled, fought, protested for us to exist, went all the way to the Privy Council in London. We are here for the voices of our people today, And we are here for our mokopuna, all our mokopuna, tomorrow. Because if we can't be accountable to them, you may as well all leave the room. I don't actually want you to leave the room. I hope you have a wonderful day. Tēnā koutou, huri noa, tihei mauri ora.
Thanks, Maramena. Okay, in our last ending on a high, we've got Thomas Robbins from Sky Originals.
Oh, I love doing these. Really love them. Kia ora everyone, ko Thomas Toku Ingoa from Sky Originals. I'm the head of Sky Originals. I've got a thing from Sky Originals. Thank you for, it's great to be up here and talk to you all and hear from the other networks who you know, we're competitors, but we're not enemies, and it's awesome to connect with them and work with them wherever we can. So it's really awesome. So I did ask Maramena to not make me look bad, but she was pretty awesome, so I'm a bit nervous. Thanks a lot, bro. Nice fun. Sky Originals. This is a wee slide that really reminds me a lot about how we as commissioners work with the lovely creatives, you know. This is a fabulous Not Even team. Ainsley Gardner, you'll know, is coming to us asking for development money, so that's her there. And then the lovely George, when we go through, she's asking us for production money and New Zealand On Air, and everyone we say, well, lovely, here's your money. And then Dana is, that's her reaction when we give some feedback on some of her scripts and her notes. But you know, we love those guys. We love local. We're here. I'm just sort of here to give you a bit of a rundown on who we are. So this is our team. Although it looks like it, we didn't really have a competition to see who could look like the biggest knob, but I won, clearly. I took out that prize. So that's me. I'm also I continued on with my scripted commissioning role because it's what I love. So I'm doing 2 jobs now, which is cool and, you know, quite intense. We have Nick. He's giving do I have to take this photograph? Got other things to do kind of look. He is our new scripted commissioner. Now, I asked Nick if he would come up and be part of it. He said, no way. So, which I thought was pretty rude. So if what I'd really like you to do, if you have an idea, please hammer him today. Is just really go and see him and pitch to him, because I've asked him to help me out and he said no. Caroline Joel is our legal counsel. She's given me Is This Smile Good Enough and How's My Hair with the usual look. And she is our legal counsel, but we are a super small, tight team. And Caroline is not just our legal, and I'm not just. We are a tight team, and we get together and we talk a lot about stuff and make decisions together. So it's a really lovely little whānau that we have going on. And Mariarangi Kāki is she's giving I'm no way I'm going to smile for you at all. I don't know what you say, look. And she is fabulous and is our new coordinator. So I am going to get them to stand up because they're all trying to hide, but I want you to see who they are. Nick and Caroline, please stand up. And Mariarangi, there they are. Thank you. That's what happens when you don't help out. So you got to help Dad out now and then. So kaupapa, I've got one here, haven't I? I can read off that. So we just wanted to give you a bit of a rundown on who we are and what we're about, and then we're really proud of commissioning bold, brave, and unique stories from Aotearoa, New Zealand. We genuinely are. We love it. There was Maramena touched on it about local, and I'll never forget when my son a few years back came out of his bedroom and he was like, I've seen the coolest show. Oh, it's the best show ever. He was 18 at the time. And it was like, it's in Korean and it's like got subtitles. And it's like, Dad, it's the shit. You should make stuff like that. And it was Squid Games, right? And for me, I was like, it's a whole new world. And for me, I would love nothing more than a Korean kid to come out of his room and say to his mum and dad, I saw this mean show from New Zealand, you know, and they were speaking this crazy language and it had subtitles and it was amazing. So I really believe that we should own who we are and offshore, don't ever look at it and kind of go, how can we make it a bit more for an American market? How can we make it a bit more this? Like, be proud of who it is. We like to support inclusive stories through an authentic lens. I'd love to not use the term diverse. I feel the term diverse gets put into this little box and we go, oh, diverse, that's small budget. Oh, diverse, you're that. I want our shows, like I'm a stink middle-class white 52-year-old dude who lives in Grey Lynn, right? You couldn't get more stink than me. And I love watching Not Even, it's not my community, but a good story is a good story, and we should just own it, is my personal philosophy, and it is now officially the Sky Originals philosophy, so that's quite good. We are looking to support more premium drama. We do love our premium drama, while we continue to support our more modest budget stuff and New Zealand Air funded stuff. We think there's room for both. I'm off to Content London next week to really push our slate and do all we can to, encourage offshore people to spend their dollars over here. So we're really looking for premium as much as we can as well. And I'm going to throw in there, because I need to, children's as well. We love children's content. Please don't forget children's. Please don't forget our tamariki, everyone. Bring your cool children's ideas to us, because I think we don't want to let it go. And it's amazing. And we do have an out-of-the-box approach to making things happen for everyone. And that's just a general kind of... I think that's came out of having a... before I was a commissioner here at Sky, I was like really cool. I was a cool director. Me and David Stubbs had a production company in Wellington, and we'd make cool shows and win awards. Did lots of cocaine, was super rich. Like, hanging out with supermodels. It was really awesome. And then I suddenly sort of woke up, and I was a really stink dude with a lanyard and a PC, and I was at Sky, and became a kind of a network corporate guy. The coke dealer had gone. My McLaren was, a beaten up old V-dub Golf, and Candy and Selena don't return my calls anymore. So it's pretty stink. So there was a point to that story, actually, was that the out-of-the-box thing is my career wasn't forged as a network executive, and so we're just kind of doing shit how we think should be done a little bit. From a creative perspective as much as we can. So, yes, we have to say no a lot, obviously. It's a shitty part of the job that we all have to do, but we just want to try and approach things as differently as we can. This is the sort of Sky philosophy. We want to share stories, share possibilities, and share joy. It's a very corporate thing for me to say, but that's what we've been told. So that's part of the Sky world. And we just wanted to run through some of our platforms. So we commission for all of these. We would love content that we can play on as many platforms as we can. So these are little, take a photo. And when you come and pitch to us, make sure you can kind of give us a rundown of where your show will go, and why, how it can work on multiple of our platforms would be really cool. Got lots of pitching tips, but I don't know whether I should be giving those now. Neon is our very local streaming platform. No levy, very local. That is our New Zealand. Very proud. Don't get confused now. Very proud of the content at Neon, very premium. Our HBO stuff, well, we have it. And we would love to get more New Zealand content up here. Be proud of it, make it premium, make it up there, looking good, between the Mayor of Easttown and The Last of Us. We can do that, And while everyone's telling us linear's dead, so what Sky decided to do is, let's rebrand Prime. So we have, because we still have an audience, And this is just a little snapshot of Sky Open. Please remember at Sky Open, I did have a couple of people who came in and pitched to me and talked about Prime the whole way through the pitch until I had to remind them, have you watched TV lately? You know, don't do that when you pitch. And so this is kind of a little snapshot. You know, I don't want to go through. You guys can all read, but you know, we have shown that we asked that Sky Open and free to air is still a thing for us. There's a 25 to 54 target audience, but realistically it's more 40 plus if we were really honest. So, you know, we just want to be honest about that too. So that's us. We're just going to rip through just a few shows that we have coming up because Nick was a big wuss and wouldn't come and do it himself. So we have some beautiful shows. This is just our new season for 2024 that we have coming up. We don't have a flash promo either, Maramena, so solidarity with you. So we've got pretty pictures, but we do have some beautiful content coming up in the non-scripted space with Dynamic Planet, which is a beautiful blue chip natural history documentary series. Living Hell 2, which is less beautiful, I would imagine, but still really engaging and a real great cautionary tale of looking out for what you buy when you're buying property, especially in the apartment area. And the fabulous Wheel Blacks, Bodies on the Line, which is following the Wheel Blacks. Robin's here somewhere, shooting it still, hopefully, and we're really looking forward to that. So that is a show we have coming up in the new year. Now we'll just quickly rattle through the scripted space. Miles from Nowhere is a fabulous... And this, to me, is a classic show of where we don't need to bang the term diverse on it. You know, like, this is a show about love and mental health and humour and loss and finding your place and all those things that we all feel. So we don't need to go, it's a Muslim show, you know? It's a fucking great show. And let's not pigeonhole things. I want to say I'm proud of it, but I didn't make it. But I'm stoked that we commissioned it. Ahmed and Gary and Sam and the guys from Gibson Group have done a fabulous job, and it is super cool. So I was going to get up and sort of be self-deprecating, classic Kiwi, but I can't because these shows are really awesome. Spinal Destination. Yeah, it's good, but Tom Sainsbury's in it. And, you know, we've got a few cuts and edits that I'm looking at. Tom, we can have a chat about a couple of your scenes when you got a minute. Need a bit of work. Thank God for ADR. But Spinal Destination is, you may know, many of you may know the fabulous Paula Fetty-Jones. This is her story. Again, like a super awesome show, and we could all talk about this being a disability show, but it's actually a fabulous show about overcoming adversity and family and love and how your life changes and all those kind of things. So Paula and the team did a fabulous job. Bree is wonderful in it. He's all right. He's pretty good. He's pretty funny. Oh, and I need to plug his movie. Have you seen his movie yet? Please go and see Tom's movie. It is really, really cool, Loop Track. So just a quick me. It's probably on another platform, but that's okay. We all work together. We like to work together here. So yeah, Spinal Destination is coming in the new year as well. As is the fabulous Not Even Season 2 from the wonderful Ainsley and Dana and, of course, George. It's a great show. It's a Wellington show. It's been nominated for a few awards at the TV Awards, so season 2 of that is shooting again here in Welly. And we also, this is another show that I wanted to talk about. I'm probably going to get in a shit ton of trouble by John Barnett by showing this key art. Probably wasn't allowed to. But I don't think he's here, so that's quite good. But The Cleaner is... our premium drama series. And the other thing that I also wanted to talk about this is the cool thing about this show is when I was talking with Lionsgate about it, they were, and I think this is the lesson we can all learn, and it sort of goes to be proud of who we are, is the Lionsgate guys put a shit ton of money into this, but they were adamant when I was talking to them that this show had to be a New Zealand show. And, you know, they were putting a lot of money in, and it was really important to me. They said, you are the local broadcaster. We want this to be a New Zealand show, and we want it to be of New Zealand. So they were really, really keen to have our thoughts and make sure we were happy with this show. And it's another show that is very New Zealand. It wasn't, how do we make it more North American, or how do we make it more for a Europe audience? It's a New Zealand show. And I think that's what will make it great. So, what has made it great, because it is complete. So that is our big premium coming out in the new year. I probably had a whole lot of other things to say, but after Maramena I got all frazzled and probably forgot half of the shit that I was supposed to say to you. But thank you so much. Please come and say hi to us all. Come and we'd love to hear your stories. 2 little tips about pitching to us. Firstly, don't open with Steve didn't want this. Tina didn't want it either. So, you want it? Not great. And the other thing that we really, I know this is super hard, is we're always trying to think, what's the next, how can we be ahead of the curve? And I know we're all predicting and looking to the future and crystal ball gazing, but we really want, what's the next cool thing? If I commissioned everything that came to me, every single show that we commissioned would all look like the bear and have Cliff Curtis in it. Because that's what everyone says to me in all their pictures. It's kind of like the bear, it's got Cliff in it, Cliff, of course, will always be cool, so he's going to be cool in the future, so sure, attach him if he's attached. But the bear is cool now, and it's a really cool show. But what's next? And it's a challenge. It's not easy, and it's easy just to lay down and go, bring me something that's futuristic, and it's not easy, but we'd love to hear those kind of ideas. We'd love to hear from you. Please come and say hello, especially come and say hi to the other members of our team, and thank you. I've probably gone over, and thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks, Thomas. That was great.